You there! Ah, my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest. Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, but remember nothing useful about goblin social order or behavior.
Goblins struck fear and awe in heart of wilting witness. And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety? Witnesses failed to notice the obvious dragon. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates? They did, didn't they? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal! Ah, but is superstition all? These goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to dawdle.
Never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, hmm? And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket?
Until we meet again.
I heard what happened. Thank you for protecting the child. If the druids are this far gone, then it's not just goblins we have to fear.
So we can risk violence here, or face it for certain on the road. Quite the choice, isn't it?
You saw what they were willing to do to a child just for trying.
It's Korga's influence. Without her twisting things, I believe the druids might see sense.
A low thought. But I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered it. But the druids would slaughter us. We'd have to get close to Korga, within striking distance. I can't manage that. But they've already let you pass once. You're taking a risk for us. We'll see that you're rewarded. I'm still hoping Korga can be swayed from this madness. But if not, leaders need to make tough decisions. We do what we must.
Scouts yet?
No, sir. But if there's a...
So, do you have loves waiting for you once this is all over?
You know what? That is not the easiest of questions for me to answer.
You mean just waiting? Like a lovesick puppy? Short-term amusements are much less hassle.
Thought you was busy with the foul bloods in Elson's Grove. Not no more. The contract didn't mention no goblins. I would have prepped the lads, brought better weapons. The kind that leaves half your crew dead. There's a wizard in Baldur's Gate that'll pay gobloads for a relic, supposedly buried round these parts. But gold ain't any use if you're too cold to spend it. It's called the Night Song. Supposed to be hidden under the temple where the goblins jumped us. I'd give you a map of the temple and wish you a happy funeral. But my mate Brian kept hold of it like his own sodger. Goblins made short of the fat old chunk. All I've got's the contract. Can show you where we turn back, if you feel like dying. As soon as he heard we had a contract to find that Night Song relic, he was more eager than a hound in heat. When the goblins jumped us, most of my crew scarpered, just like I taught them to. The old codger didn't. I'm just glad to be rid of the bloody thing. Happy hunting. Come on. We're wasting time.
Keep moving, stranger. Quietly. I told you to go.
You see a name etched into the leather. Scratch.
You know my name? Interesting. A predator wouldn't care to learn it. Still, you should go. My friend is injured. He needs rest. Of course he will. And then we'll return home. We were attacked. Cackling, furry things on two legs. And their smell, it was strange, rotten, evil.
You know the creatures he describes. Gnolls.
No, I won't leave him. If it comes to that, I may. Thank you.
You're not versed in magic, are you? Oh, I do apologize. I meant to ask, are you studied in magic? Namely, are you a wizard? Which you are not. If you meet any elder wizards, let me know. There is a matter I'd like to seek advice on from a master. What's on your mind? I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it. I'll be in the camp then, idling away the hours.
How delicious.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Never been better. Oh, fuck me. It's you, from the Nautiloid. Please tell me I found you before those so-called Paladins of Tyr did. Good. Great. Glad I don't have to kill you.
A great heat roars through you. Her heat, fiery as the hells. Then you're lost in visions of demonic armies as you tear through a landscape of fire and blood. The Blood War. You saw it from above as the Nautiloid passed through Avernus. This woman was on the front line.
What was that? Fuck's sake. Mountains as far as the eye can see. Guess that explains the voices. From that peek I got into your head, you've made some inroads trying to get the thing sorted. But alas, no joy. I'm Karlak. And you are... Well met, soldier. Now that we're old pals, how would you feel about helping me kill some evil bastards? A little background, if your moral compass needs something to point at. You already know I fought in the Blood War. I was good at killing demons. Really good. So good, Zariel, the archdevil herself, made me her personal attack dog. I played along until I could get the fuck out of there. Took me 10 years to properly escape, but now I'm free. Zariel sent goon after goon to hunt me down. But believe me when I tell you, I'm not going. The latest yappy little dog she sicked on me are nearby. A group of dopes posing as Paladins of Tyr. Want to help me take them down? Fuck yes. They cornered me outside the toll house just up the hill. Doubt they've gone far after the scorching I gave them. After we've mopped them up, we can work on evicting this parasite and take Faerun by the short hairs. Sound good?
I like her. She looks like she could throw me over her shoulder and carry me to safety. Should the need arise.
I'd hug you if it wouldn't scorch your skin off. Whew, I'm getting all het up. Let's make tracks.
What's so funny? You haven't got some laughing curse, have you?
I really made it out of Avernus. It's incredible.
All right, just keep it down. We're conspicuous enough without your hyena call.
That's a friendly-looking shadow. Light on my feet.
Feels like I've lost something.
A spasm grips your chest. Your strength falters. An emptiness grows within you, Paladin. Something has been lost.
You've broken your oath, Paladin. At the close of day, I will be waiting for you. We have much to discuss.
A key?
I wonder what it opens.
Please, no more. Leave us in peace, and we shall leave you in kind.
Cut the crap, Anders. I know what you are.
Don't let her hurt us. Please, we just want to go home. Zariel? Certainly not. We serve Tyr, Lord of Justice, and no other. Please, mercy. Half of us are badly injured, the other half dead. I admit, we ambushed you. An assignment from our god, Tyr. We thought you a devil, and with your flames you proved us right. But Tyr will not consign us to our death. He is merciful. Leave us, and we'll leave you. Enough! Enough! I'll not play pretend anymore. Karlak, you're going home in pieces if needs must. And you'll soon learn what it means to ally yourself with the likes of this garbage.
Avernus was never my home. It was my prison. I'm free now. And I'm never going back! Won't go back. I'm never going back. And if any of Mummy's little friends want to pick up where the others left off, they'll find nothing but a pile of ash. That's right, she won't. She can't. She couldn't even lay a finger. That ought to do it. Whew. Had to let off a little steam after facing off with those ignots. Granted, the fire's lasting a little longer than it should. How do I look? Careful, soldier. If I burn any hotter, I might explode. Hear that? Infernal engine for a heart. Lets me burn as hot as the hells. Seems to be running in overdrive since I left Avernus. Won't be seeing my mechanic anytime soon, so I'll just make the most of the extra heat. Just don't get too close, till I've found a way to calm it down. High pain tolerance, and a dynamic duo of truly shitty bosses. But it's a bit early in the game to be getting into tragic backstories. Let's save the Scar show for later, after we've worked up an appetite for tragedy. Meanwhile, I'll need to find someone who can tune up my engine sooner rather than later. Believe me when I say this thing is hot. The first time I faced down those paladins, they let slip there was an infernal mechanic in the area. A tiefling. He might be able to stabilize things, if I can find him. Sounds like a good lead. Hopefully our guy will be among them. A tune-up would do this old tub a world of good.
Thought I sensed an infernal around here. But you aren't from Elturel. What's your story?
I spent a good bit of time in the Hells. Enlisted against my will by the Archdevil Zariel. Same as you, I suppose, if you're from Elturel. The devils were delighted when your city was swallowed up. I thought they had you for keeps. Glad you got out.
I got lucky. It looks like you did too. And you brought some infernal machinery with you.
A little gift from Zariel. Keeps me burning hot.
Very hot by the smell of it. Might be burning out a piston ring or leaking oil. Mind if I take a listen?
Be my guest. But don't get too close or your eyes will melt shut.
Phew! You really are burning up. Whoever put that engine together tried to house metallurgized Demono valves inside a Ragnak's alloy casement. Very risky. I might be able to help. But I'd need infernal iron. And a prayer that my hammer will survive the work. That thing isn't meant to operate outside of Ernest. I'm not sure how much longer it'll keep running the way it's going.
Will you be able to turn down the temperature a little? Worried I'm gonna go in for a handshake and singe someone's arm off one of these days.
I'd worry about surviving the night first. But help one, help both. If we can cool you off, it'll stabilize your engine and allow you to touch whomever you please.
I've sensed some during our travels. It has a pull to it. Absolutely magnetic, once you know what you're looking for. I can show you where I'd look.
I have been waiting for you. I felt the moment of your liberation. The shedding of your bond. You called to me. I am here to show you the way. A journey with no end, trodden only by the desperate and the damned. It is a path I have walked since the moment I fell. Now, you will walk it too, Oathbreaker. You swore to defend the defenseless, to stand as an emblem for all that is good and just in this world. Tell me, why did you abandon your oath? A lapse in judgment. To know the reason for your fall is, perhaps, to know the shape of things to come. Take comfort in your undoing. I, like you, abandoned my cause. But much can still be achieved. Your oath is broken. The light within you fades. A new power is awakening. I served a noble lord. I fought for him without question or restraint. Where his light shone, my sword followed. In his name, I raised villages, put thousands to the sword. I believed our greater purpose required such brutality, such sacrifice. But his light was so radiant. It blinded me to all else. I could not see the darkness and corruption of the path he led me down. When I finally saw the truth, he would not be reasoned with. So I ended him. For this, I was called Oathbreaker. Regret is for those who would act differently. I feel no such desire. What's past is past. We are here to discuss your future. Darkness will obey your summons. The dead will march to your rhythm. Even now, these shadows gather around you. They sense the cracks in your armor. They yearn to be used, to be inflicted. I wielded the powers of darkness, yet held a candle for those who needed the light. My actions followed no teaching, apart from my own justification. Good or ill, I made my choices. Eventually, I heard the call of others who had strayed. I showed them the way, as I show you now. Do not resist. Surrender and be remade. Though born of a vile source, these powers can be used for good or ill. Your oath no longer binds you. The choice is yours alone.
Soldier. The year, 10 air. The place, sleepy little town called Baldur's Gate. Our hero, Karlak, a knock-knee delinquent from the outer city with everything to give and nothing to lose. I was a kid looking for a way to fill my days and make some cash when I fell into the wrong crowd. Worked for a guy I respected. A lot. Turns out the feeling wasn't mutual. Through the jigs and the reels, he made a deal with Zariel behind my back. You know Zariel, right? Archdevil of Avernus. She put this thing in my chest and set me to work. Well, to war. I learned quick how to stay alive. And the engine served me when it came to killing devils. 10 years of that. The stories I could tell. Guy named Gortash, politician, inventor. One of these wheeler-dealer types who seems to have a finger in every pie. I guess I was naive to think everything he got up to was above board. What did I know? I saw a job, a good job, with people I liked, doing work I was good at. Sometimes I'm jealous of that girl. Ugh, to feel so invincible again. Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints. Gives me energy, power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close. I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try. One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, start making up for lost time. But not today. The Blade of Frontiers. Thought I'd shaken you for good after the Mind Flare ship. But you just can't get enough of me, can you?
Karlach, Advocatus Diaboli, the stink of Avernus. You ally with an Archdevil's chosen, and...
A great fire roars through you, the fire of the first hell. You are the Blade of Frontiers, racing through the wastes of Avernus. Just ahead, a diabolical figure, red skin, single-curled horn, blazes with flame, bloodied great axe held high. He chases the fiend, ignited with rancor. She is an infernal war devil, a threat to the living, evil incarnate.
Your ally's a fraud, a soldier in the Archdevil Zariel's army. Either I cut her down, or she burns the Sword Coast to ash.
I've tried to tell you, I am not what you think I am. I'm...
Another vision. Karlach's blade raised, slicing through devils, Zariel's servants, as her eyes dart around, seeking escape. The man shudders with Karlach's desperation. She is a victim of the Blood War, not an agent of it.
By Baldur's helm, No. I will not be tricked.
You saw the truth. I may be an effective soldier, but I never wanted to serve Zariel. Legged it away from her the first chance I got.
And yet you served.
The man catches his breath and his lips straighten. Sheer dread twists his face.
No! Devils cannot be trusted.
Would you listen to sense? This doesn't have to end badly. For either of us. You know monsters, right? Better than anyone. Look into my eyes. Can't you see I'm not what you think?
Shit. You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
You would have died in the attempt. But there have been enough threats today. Truce?
I'll do you one better. Allies. We're looking to get rid of these parasites for good. And ruin some bastards' days while we're at it. Sounds like your kind of venture.
I've not grown any tentacles yet, thank Baldrin. But luck won't be on our side forever. Yes, you have my blade. Your leader willing, of course.
Well, soldier, what's the word? Hey!
Well met. And 1,000 sorries. I've pledged my life to protecting the meek from monsters. But tonight, I was the rampaging beast. I see the good in you, Karlach. I promise not to lose sight of it, even when the hells burn hottest.
The famous Blade of Frontiers in the flesh. Clever, this hero act you've got going.
Hero, Blade, names strangers gave me. My friends call me Will.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
Glad Will saw sense. Even more glad he decided to stick around. Takes a pretty slick mover to track down old Karlach. He won't. Someone wrong-footed him about me, and I'm betting we'll find out who before long. I respect someone who can admit when they're wrong, and stick around after, too. Plus, did you see his eye? Bet there's a good story there.
You've been witness to a pantomime, I'm sorry to say. And I've played my part all too poorly. I can say only this. Karlach's not the only one who's had a villain's knife held to their throats. One night soon, when we make camp, the veil will be lifted, and I'll pay my penance. You're not in any danger, I promise. I can't say the same about me.
Hope you're keeping well, friend. Master? Friend. I stayed with him until I knew he was gone. I'll never forget him. But I'm glad to have met you.
My, what manner of place is this? A path to redemption? Or a road to damnation? Hard to say, for your journey is just beginning. What would suit the occasion? The words to a lullaby, perhaps. The mouse smiled brightly. It outfoxed the cat. Then down came the claw. And that, love, was that. They do know how to write them in Cormyr, don't they? Well met, I am Raphael. Very much at your service. Neither. The fox, rather. Hiding, in a word. A silent observer, about to break the silence. Of course, what I have to say merits some privacy, as well as some more, let's call it, refinement. This quaint little scene is decidedly too middle of nowhere for my tastes. Come. There, middle of somewhere. The House of Hope, where the tired come to rest and the famished come to feed lavishly. Go on, partake, enjoy your supper. After all, it might just be your last. Not easily rattled, I see. Good. Makes the next part that much more straightforward. What's better than a devil you don't know? A devil you do. Am I a friend? Potentially. An adversary? Conceivably. But a savior? That's for certain. Easy, easy. I'm here to help, not harm. Consider your predicament. One skull, two tenants, and no solution in sight. I could fix it all, like that.
Your oath is in tatters, Paladin. You abandoned your honor as soon as it became inconvenient. But the darkness won't save you any more than the light could. You'll realize that in time.
Try to cure yourself. Shop around. Beg, borrow, and steal. Exhaust every possibility until none are left. And when hope has been whittled down to the very marrow of despair, that's when you'll come knocking on my door. Hope. Such a tease. I've always wondered what a laughing mind flayer sounds like. All those pretty little symptoms, sundering skin, dissolving guts, they haven't manifested yet, have they? One might say you're a paragon of luck. I'll be there when it runs out.
Necklace matches the sigil in that cave. The harpers were busy.
That wreck clean and leave us. You both twice as tall as me, but have half the bloody backbone.
But we don't know what that thing even is. And what about the crypt?
I'm telling you, it's a ship. And the crypt can wait. Mari and Barton have been trying to break in for days. Now we... Stop! Got ourselves competition already. That's our ship. Well,
In that case, come on, you lot. No point in getting killed. Second worm gets the cheese and all.
Second mouse gets the cheese, no?
Nobody's getting any damn cheese! Now move it!
Now there's a bloody devil trailing after us. Well, this gets better and better. Shop around, he said. He seems sure we won't find anything. And he might be right. We've had no luck so far. If we don't know what we're walking into, that bridge will collapse under us. The devil has a plan. He's playing with us. He reminds me of, well, someone I used to know. Someone that liked to play with people. Creatures like them don't play games unless they know they can win. We keep hunting for answers. What other choice do we have? This is no ordinary Mind Flayer parasite. Who tampered with it, and why? What do they have planned for us? And why are we important enough that a devil comes knocking on our door? If we find those answers, we might have a chance.
Can't believe that devil just took us into the hells with a snap of his fingers. If I see him again, I'll wring his neck. I knew I liked you. Raphael was his name, right? He's trying to lure us into a game he knows we can't win. I'm not playing. Glad you're not either.
Bloody hells. Literally. Just when I think I've got a grasp on our dilemma, a devil shows up. No matter. We've dealt with every other oddity thrown at us lately. We can handle this one too. Now, as for this Raphael, he knows our secret. He claims he can help. What do you make of him? No doubts at all. He seemed powerful and very knowledgeable about our problem. Not the worst prospect we've stumbled across. As long as you can look past what he is. I'll tell you in due course. I just wanted to see how close we are in thinking, first of all. I've made you doubt yourself. Sorry, not what I intended. Let's take time to think about it. Some food and rest. Things will be clear then. Or is it? Suddenly I'm not so sure. Isn't it terrible when someone causes you to doubt yourself? Good, you got there eventually. I know people who work much like our new acquaintance does. You don't need a scourge or a rack to break people. Fear and self-doubt is sufficient. When actual pain comes, the victim's already done the heavy lifting for their torturer. There were no right answers with that devil. He was toying with his food. Us. Perhaps you didn't. See? Sowing doubt is an old trick. Watch out for it. And for Raphael.
This book is far lighter than it should be with such a massive lock. The tome does not take kindly to your tampering. A feeling like pins and needles lingers under your skin, pricking and prodding. As the lock opens, a loose page comes with it. Magic pulses from the parchment. What was once script is now an obliterated scrawl. You have a sense these are names, a list. But of what? Gods. These are the names of gods, once lost but now restored after the Second Sundering. The last three names in this book sit close together, but are so devastated by the scroll as to be unreadable. Entire pantheons have dwindled and been reborn, silently recorded by this book.